Hello. What I'd like to do for this year is something I haven't been able to do in a long while. When I was in orchestra, we used to have a Christmas concert. We played traditional Christmas music like Sleigh Ride and Jingle Bells, but also I was a member of the Golden Strings where we used to play different classical music as well. My first instrument was actually the guitar, and I learned to play the Les Paul method by taking music lessons at Walker Music in Wauwatosa on 128th Street. And some listening may find this very interesting or absurd, but actually, my first music teacher was Les Paul, and he actually taught me how to play the guitar in the Les Paul method. So, what I'd like to present to you is a improvised concerto, just a free jam session of a concerto that I thought of starting in G. Well, let me know what you think. And what happens, I'm gonna do more in the future. I just felt inspired to do some tonight. It's been a while since I played my guitar. And also I'm planning to get a keyboard and also violin because I do music was always a big part of my life, and I won many awards in state competitions, gold medal awards. A lot of people thought I was going to go into music, but basically I was encouraged to go into a silver degree where you can actually make money. But also my family was very artistic because we did keep music going. And my mother used to play Chopin's Concerto in A major, which is a two-handed concerto, but actually many people consider it a four-handed concerto because it goes bum 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 ba 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 bum bum ba ba bum bum ba ba bum bum ba ba bum 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 bum. Now here comes the four-hand bum ba 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 bum 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 ba 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 bum bum. Bum ba 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 bum 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 ba 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 bum ba 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 bum 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 ba 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 bum bum ba 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 bum bum ba 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 bum bum bum. And some of you may recognize that from the song "Cherish" used by the association. When it goes, let's see, I don't know how I should just say I can love you. Da, da, la, 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 la. And what happens, it uses the ninth and 11th chord. And a friend of mine, Mark, when I stayed with him, he used to love to play that. He played it on his piano, and he's a very good pianist. But the ninth and 11th chords, even for experienced pianists and someone who knows four-handed piano, can be difficult. But it's used as the same ideas as Chopin. But just to finish, part of the Les Paul method is that basically Les Paul method is based upon well, let's use classical music. Classical music is GCD. So GCD, G C D. And then what you do basically, then if you want to transpose to E, then the same thing. Go. And so what happens is basically what we did is we did 1, 4, 5, 1, 4, 5, 1, 4, 5. And what happens is you do this on all the strings. And guitars are tuned in a fourth. So if your guitar is perfectly tuned, you can see mine's slightly out of tune. It's closer. So you can see that this string's a little bit flat. So you can see this string is closely tuned. Now the whole thing is what happens. So is when you play the guitar, many people think you have to squeeze the life out of the neck. No, you don't. There are two ways to do it. Like for example, you can play it this way, where basically you just put your finger on the fret lightly, and what it is, it's how you strum. It's how you strum. So see, it's how you start, and also you can put it between the frets. But it's not squeezing the life out. It's not squeezing the life out. Now you notice sometimes I don't use a pick. I was taught both ways, how to use the pick and how not to. And when you play the guitar, it's very similar to playing the cello because what happens when you play, like for example, like I started G. Now to go to A, basically use your third finger, and then B is your fourth finger, and then D is your third finger, E is your fourth, F and G is your third. So what happens is with the Les Paul method, what you do basically is you can do it by varying chords like tonic, like one, three, 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 one, three, three, five, one, five, six, four, one, three, one, and that's how the Les Paul method is. So that way, and part of the reason why it's done that way is because you can transpose to any strings. Also, the Les Paul method is known as the Nashville method. And the difference between when you tune guitars, depending on where you're playing, I tune my guitar to a classical guitar, but when you tune guitars to a Nashville guitar, these strings on E, G, and D, I actually tune into fifths. So basically, this becomes G, as I think this becomes E, A, E, and then you have G. So these three strings are tuned into fifths, and what happens, the rest of the strings are tuned into fourths. Now, you may think it's easy to tune a string into a fifth, but you have to remember when you tune a string, these strings are made to be tuned in fourths. So when you tune it into a fifth, you got to make sure you turn it very slowly because you can snap the string. And also, you could damage your guitar doing. That's why in Nashville they have special tuners that do this. Now you notice when I played, I preferred to play here, but also some people, like if you play here, see, all depends on how you pluck the strings. Pluck the strings with confidence. Now you can see everyone has their own things. Like I prefer to play on the lower five strings rather than the fifth string. But basically, some people just play on the first three strings, and that's what I prefer to do. Like for example, an impromptu piece, if I was going to start it in G. And see that's example of using a Les Paul method because I wasn't actually thinking of notes, I was thinking of chords. Basic 1 1 4 5 3 7. And so what happens is that way you can transpose to any method. Well, let me know what you think of my impromptu concerto and some of the impromptu riffs afterwards. The best way to reach me is on YouTube, Facebook, or even if you like, email Diana K7, Diana DianaKay7 at hotmail.com. Also X, Blue Sky, and please remember this it sometimes takes time for me to respond to emails due to some days I feel good and some days I don't. Well, let me know what you think of this impromptu Christmas concert, and I'm planning more concerts in the future.